Hi, it's Jamie with JamiesArtsaLaCartes, and we have another project for you. We are going to restore the cornholes that my husband made for our daughter and son-in-law for their wedding. So that was a few years ago, so in the weather, just beats them down a little bit. So we are going to actually put a college logo on there. My husband has just sprayed them down with bleach. Then we'll give them a good sanding, and then we'll give them a coat of paint. Well, we'll do Kilz, and then give them their base coat, put on the logo, and then urethane them. And hopefully they'll last a few more years. This is one of the favorite Thanksgiving activities. All right, phew, got a lot to do. Let's get to it.
stiff. Put a little dab of water in it. We're going to set these cornholes out in the sun when we get done here. Let them dry out because they actually soaked up a lot of moisture sitting outside where they were living at.
So he's going to fix places like here. I sanded it, but it feels a little loose. Got a corner over there that really needs it.
Corner here.
So what would the wood filler do? Will it become real wood, or is that just a fake one?
It's gonna get hard like real wood. Cabinet makers use this. In fact, when we did our cabinets for the rear porch, I used it on the face of the cabinets to blend all those pieces together, and then afterwards it dries hard like wood, and you just sand it after it dries. So the main thing is to get it in the spots that are what you're questioning, and try to get it in there as much as you can, because you're going to sand after it dries. You're going to sand it smooth, and you won't know that part of the corner was missing. We did that also with the little telephone table that we got in the living room. It was damaged really bad, and this is a good spot right here that's got some wood rot started in the plywood, and I'm going to mush it as hard as I can down into that wood rot. And we'll put a little more over the top of it. Because like I say, we're going to sand this again. Make it flush with the rest of the wood. And then you had a spot. Yeah, we had my daughter had a pot sitting on there.
Terracotta, so it held water.
And the pot left a footprint. Another good reason to get your putty a little wetter, so it sticks into all the cracks and grooves in your work. If it's too dry, it's not going to stick in there good. And I think this has got some properties to it like Elmer's glue would. It's water-based, but that's why it works good with the wood. It may look like crap right now, but after we sand it, you'll never know there was a pot sitting there. And another trick is this is almost like clay in the aspect that you can, while it's still wet or putty like, you can go over it like that and sort of feel where high spots are at and blend in the edges. Sander's going to do the same thing, only a much more aggressive. Just let you get it where you think you're good, except for after it dries and you do the final sanding. You see how that's got some ribs there from the blade of the I should really use a wider one for this, but we're just trying to knock them ribs down. The sander's really going to tear it up, but
You can always hand sand it, correct?
yep. So we don't need to be perfect. This is a cornhole, it goes outside, so we just want to make it where
It looks nice.
it looks nice, and when we put the Kilz on it, it's going to protect it. And then we'll paint our fancy colors and logos, and then after that we'll put on probably 2 or 3 coats of polyurethane to really make it slick and protect it from the weather. That's going to be the most time consuming part of the job, because it's going to take at least 12 hours, you know, 1 coat a day to do that.
All right.
For a day, we'll set these out in the sun and let them dry for a day or 2 before we put the Kilz to them.
Today is the Kilz day. All right, so we have the Kilz coat on there. And so they're drying in this beautiful fall day. And we'll flip them over, do the bottom side, and then let them set for a day or so, and then start the base coat. Okay, we've got the second side done, which will be the underneath side. And again, we'll just wait for the paint to dry. Got that one over there, drying in the sun. Alright, so today is the day that we're putting the oil-based high gloss coating on the cornholes. Starting with the bottom and then moving to the top. Alright, so we got the white coat put onto the cornholes, and I will be designing the logo to go on the tops. We are going to be working to see if we need to sand that again and paint it one more time before we do the logos. All right, there's that step. Okay, so here we have our logo created in Cricut Design Space, and essentially we're going to have 2 colors that we're going to create the decals for, because the white will just basically be the base. So we just need a stencil for the green and a stencil for the gold. And we'll also cut out a couple circles to do around the holes for the cornholes. Alright, here we go. right, here we go. I'm going to try not to mess this up. So my husband is taping off the first layer of paint, which will be, well, the first layer of color paint, which will be the green. And there's the faithful dog doing what he does. Well, here we are, the first coat of green. It's going to take a little bit longer to dry today because we're dealing with humidity in our area today, but that's why we plan. Looks a little sketchy right now, but my husband was a sign painter back in his early days, so he's the one that's setting us up for this technique. All right, so now is the first piece of the logo that will be put on there. We've got some touch-ups that'll need to be done with the white. Well, here is the finished cornhole. My husband got all the lines straightened up. They came out very nice. Hopefully the kids will like them. And they'll provide many Thanksgiving challenges ahead. We like to play cornhole on Thanksgiving Day. And here is the second one. They both turned out pretty nice. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing. And until next time, happy crafting!